everyone, it's Mrs. Alcorn, and I am here to teach you how to make a graph. It's fun. So first of all, you want to graph using Google Sheets. If you have another program like Excel, it works very similarly. There might be some buttons in different places, or maybe you already know how to do it, in which case, go ahead. So if you want to find a Google Sheet, you just go to sheets.google.com, and it takes you here. And then you can just get a blank sheet like I have up here. So for your urban heat island lab, you probably set it up so you have your independent variable on the left and your dependent variable on the right. That is because independent variables are usually graphed on the x-axis and dependent are on the y-axis. So you want to have your independent variable here and your dependent so that the graph comes out the way you want it to. So I am going to use some data that one of my students took. It is in Fahrenheit. I want you all to use Celsius. But this student did different materials and tested to see what the differences were between them. So the materials, so they have beige concrete, metal, glass, which I'm suspicious of that because the laser goes through glass. So what are they actually measuring? White concrete, wood, and granite flooring. So we have your materials, and then you type in the temperature. Just like how in math, you put things, you list X and then Y, okay? Hopefully that's still being taught in school these days. I'm sure it is. So we have beige concrete, we have metal, we have glass, we have white concrete, we have wood, and then you have granite flooring. So now we have to enter the temperatures. I'm first going to show you what not to do. So they have 88.7 Fahrenheit. Don't do that. Do not put the unit in the data entry part. So you need to put the unit up top because otherwise Excel or Google Sheet will not recognize this as a number. They'll see it as, as a non-number, and it'll make your life miserable trying to figure it out. So just put the pure numbers down when you want to make a graph. And also, if you have a letter in there, it'll mess up any formulas you do. So just do it like this. Just put the pure number and put the unit on top. Here, we don't really have units because they're just different types of materials. So if you measured the differences between different paint color and cars, you would have paint color here with a list. And then you would have temperature, hopefully in Celsius, not Fahrenheit here. So they had 88.7, 80.2, 81.3, 70.1, oh, that's a lot cooler, 74.6, and 83.1. So now, these data really aren't continuous. And what do I mean by that? I mean, they're a separate thing. So the beige concrete isn't necessarily connected to the metal. I mean, if they're next to each other, there might be some sort of a secondary influence because let's say if the metal or it looks like the beige concrete might be heating that up, but it's not like a reaction over time, or it's not like something over a distance. So the best graph for this is going to be a bar graph because we're comparing different things, but with the same dependent variable. They're not parts of a whole, so they're not, it doesn't all add up to 100%, which would give you a nice pie chart. It's not continuous data, which is a line graph, so we're going to use a chart. And I always forget how to do this, and see, it just gives you a line graph automatically. So this is kind of the annoying part where you have to play around, and it might not be exactly how mine looks, but I'm going to teach you how to do it. So chart type, let's do a column. Then here, if yours looks weird, you can look down and make sure the x-axis is materials. Good, because it detected that because it was on the left side. And then series is what gets plopped on top of the x-axis. So it's a dependent variable. And you can have more than one dependent variable sometimes, but let's worry about that later. So here I have temperature because I set the graph up nicely. And so that looks good. So now what I need to do, that's not a great title. So what I'm going to do here is call it temperature of materials in the GL Tech parking lot. Okay, and since I put temperature F here, that is picked up as a label. Okay, and I think that there's a place here in Legend, it will automatically detect it as a label. There's a way you can change that, but then here we have the different materials. Now, you can go into chart style, you can change the background color, you can change the font, you can play around with it. The axis title is here. If you didn't enter it as nicely, you can change it there and it usually will change in the graph, or you can go here like horizontal axis, it says materials there. But in general, it's pretty straightforward, and you can change the color if you want. You know, why not pink? Yeah, cool. But that is your graph. Now, when you want to copy and paste this into your lab report, all you do is copy chart. I believe you can Control C it. And then when you go into the Google Docs, you just want to make sure you paste it unlinked, because then it won't be connected to your sheet too. It'll just be easier, because if you paste it linked, then if you make a change to the original spreadsheet, so see here, it paste unlinked. I just did Control V. If you link it, then if I make a change here, actually, let me show you guys. And you could play around with this too. Link to spreadsheet. Then let's say I want to make the beige concrete 120. I believe it will, oh, it doesn't change that. Okay, never mind. Oh, update. Yeah, it will change. Okay, but it says only editors will see that. So this might be good if you're kind of in the middle of the lab report, but then you might want to update it. So enjoy. And I hope this was helpful. Miss Alcorn here, signing off.